Hey, what's up? Unbiased Buckets here. As most people know, the MVP race in the NBA this year is very close, and there's not really a clear frontrunner. What there is a pretty consensus top three, and I'm here to give a solid argument for all three contenders for this award, and I'm also here to give my pick on who I think will win the award. To begin, let's talk about Nikola Jokic. Jokic is the back-to-back MVP from the last 2 years, and honestly, he's made a pretty solid case for winning his third MVP. This season, the Nuggets are pretty much guaranteed to finish at the top of the West, and right now are the 1 seed. Jokic this season is averaging an efficient 25 points a game, 12 rebounds, and nearly 10 assists. His main argument is that he doesn't have that much help, and on top of that, his advanced stats are through the roof. And I mean, both of these are true. I won't bore you with a bunch of advanced analytics, but just know this is true. There's a reason NBA analytic fans love Jokic. And as far as his lesser help, his second best option is Jamal Murray, who is good, but in the regular season can be very inefficient and inconsistent. So when compared to other star players, or even the other two guys in the MVP race, he definitely does have less help. As far as Jokic's MVP case, I think it really comes down to voters' fatigue. Are voters willing to vote for him 3 years in a row? Moving on to the second contender for this award, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, like Jokic, is also a back-to-back MVP, but he won them the 2 years before Jokic's. Much like the Nuggets too, the Milwaukee Bucks are also the first seed in their conference and could very likely finish there too. Giannis is leading his team and averaging 31 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. And in my opinion, he's the best player in the league, although this doesn't really mean being MVP, as we've seen with LeBron throughout his career. I think some major things that Giannis has going for him in this MVP race is that he's simply played less minutes than everyone else. And on top of that, he's been a better defender than Jokic and the other contender. As far as reasons for him not winning the award, there are actually a couple. To start, his efficiency isn't the greatest. I mean, he's shooting about 65% from the free throw line, which is not very good at all. Continuing, he's got 2 other All-NBA defenders on his team and a lot of other really good defenders. This includes players like Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Javon Carter, and Brook Lopez, who's a pretty decent contender for the Defensive Player of the Year award. And another reason, although it could be a positive, would be his minutes. He's played significantly less than the other 2 contenders, which could mean his team needs him less than the other 2. But at the same time, it could mean he's so effective that they don't need him as much. Overall though, this could be seen as a negative. Moving on to the third and final contender of this video, Joel Embiid. Joel is leading the league in points per game with 33, along with 10 rebounds and 4 assists. Efficiency-wise, he's not as good as Jokic, but he's better than Giannis. And on the defensive end, it's a very similar story, as he's not as good as Giannis on defense, but he's better than Jokic. The Sixers, as of right now, are the 3rd seed in the East, and have potential to finish as the 2 or 1 seed, although unlikely. I think the biggest argument for Embiid this season is that he's basically the perfect middle ground between Giannis and Jokic. I mean, there's no real glaring flaw about his game and his season overall. If you've noticed, between Giannis and Jokic, they're almost polar opposites. Where one falls short, the other one doesn't. And I really think Embiid lies right in the middle of both of them. As far as an argument against him, I think the only real argument here is that his team isn't as good as either the Bucks or the Nuggets. But the gap really isn't that massive. Overall, if you ask me, the MVP this season should be Joel Embiid. Although it's a close race and some of the arguments against some players are very nitpicky, I think Embiid has the least argument against him and the most argument for him. So if you ask me to place a bet on who the MVP will be, I'll say Embiid. Alright, well that's it for this video. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if I'm an idiot. See ya.